am the Witch of Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. Got a fresh new tea light for us today. And today I have a reading for Cancer Moons. How are you, Cancer Moons? It is so nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. I have a reading for you. Hold on. Sorry, that wasn't... it was kind of tilted. That was bothering me. Okay, there we go. Yes, I have a reading for you. And if you're new here, you should know that I especially love doing Cancer Moon readings. Oh my gosh, what is with these cards? They are just flying out. Oh my god, they're so excited. I love when the cards are excited. Okay, anyway, I'm trying to tell you, I'm a Cancer Moon as well. So I especially love doing Cancer Moon readings. But, of course, I promise to keep my biases out of this reading, just like with all of the readings that technically pertain to me as well. So, as I finish up shuffling out the cards, I invite you to take some deep breaths to calm yourself, ground yourself, center yourself, get relaxed, get comfy, and see what's going on with you guys. Oh my god. These cards, they feel so excited and chaotic. What is going on? Well, okay, I know what's going on for me. I'm wondering if that's showing up in the reading for all of us. Huh. Okay, let's take a look at the cards. So for the Oracle card, we have Focus with Sagittarius and the air element. All right, and for the tarot cards, we have Nine of Cups reversed, the Hierophant, Nine of Wands reversed, Knight of Pentacles, the Seed, aka Temperance, and lastly, Six of Chalices, aka Six of Cups. Okay, so I see why the cards were coming up very chaotic. It's because it seems like you're feeling very chaotic right now. Kind of like your head is spinning type of energy. And what we're going to be talking about in this reading today is why it is important for you to slow down and focus. Yeah, I think I'll start with the Nine of Cups reversed with the Nine of Wands reversed. I guess I'm like, am I sure I want to, I'm sure about this? Yeah, I think I feel comfortable saying this. Because we have both of these 9 cards here, I do feel like you're like on the precipice of something. Kind of getting ready to finish up one thing and go to, like, not necessarily the end of something, but I feel like for most of you it's more like going to the next level of something. For just a little bit of context, when I'm talking about the number 9 in tarot, if you can imagine, you know, the Ace card is the beginning of a journey and 10 is the end, right? 9 is pretty close to 10, right? We're starting to wrap some things up, tie in some loose ends. But again, I don't think we're like talking about like something ending completely, but more like we're hitting a milestone. We're talking about getting to the next level of something. But I think you are feeling very stressed and really wanting to rush things. Or at least like some part of you is wanting to rush things. Because it feels like that feeling of like, you know, I know I'm making progress. I know we're getting there, but I just want to be at the end. And there's still so much more left to do. There's still so many things that need to happen or be figured out before I can finally get to what it is that I want, right? So many things that still need to be done. And I just want to get there, right? I mean, having the 9 of Cups reversed, that's that feeling of dissatisfaction. And 9 of Wands reversed is feeling a little bit burned out. Like you have already done so much, right? This isn't necessarily something new. But I think right now you have so many feelings and so many thoughts in your head and so many things you're trying to take control of to try and alleviate some of that fear. But I think that desire for things to just be settled, you know, to just have the thing that you want, be at the place you want to be, I think that's kind of getting in the way of actually getting there, you know, because what would be best for you right now is, like I said, to be focused, to just kind of be present and not be so like, well, I'm so scared of this thing that happened because it happened in my past, or well, I'm so scared that this might turn out this way, or I'm scared that this person might do that. You know, that desire for these things to work out the way you want them to, it's not a bad thing, right? In fact, now that I'm saying this, I was wondering what this Hierophant card was talking about, but I think this is specifically something that maybe you feel like you should have already, you know? Or it's like, okay, it's about time this thing worked out for me, right? Like maybe you thought you'd have a stable job by now and you still don't, right? Or you thought you would have a serious partner or be married by now and you still haven't. You thought you'd have kids by now and you still haven't, right? When we're talking about the Hierophant, it's talking about tradition, and I always associate it with like culture and a lot of times like religion, you know? So that's why I say too, I don't necessarily think we're talking about like some completely new idea you have. It's more like, well, this is something I want in my life. I've always known at some point I would have this in my life, and it's time. I want this to happen. Because I think a lot of that stress that you're feeling right now might, at least in part, be because you're comparing yourself to others. Right? Well, you know, my younger cousin already has this and I don't, right? Or, well, I thought it would be like this or I thought I would have it by now and I don't. And I think it's just kind of that, you know, being like too in your head, that is actually, in fact, distracting you and taking you away from your present moment, where you're at right now, what's best for you today and what's healthiest for you today and what's actually completely fine. Even if other people tell you it's a bad thing or you're behind or you're not on top of it enough, like whatever, what do you actually know deep down in your heart is right for you? I feel like I'm talking very generally and vaguely, but hopefully I'm getting my point across. But if we look at these 3 cards down here, these are very gentle cards. That's the word that's like flashing in my head right now. It's like, I think you need a lot more gentleness and softness with this situation. The gentleness of letting go of these like restrictions or deadlines or whatever, you know, which is scary. Letting go of that stuff does not feel gentle at first. With the Knight of Pentacles, a lot of times the message that she is bringing to us is that slow progress is still progress. Not everything is meant to happen overnight. Not everything necessarily is better the quicker it happens, right? Sometimes things go a lot more smoothly if you just give it time. I'm thinking, I just had this image pop into my head of like when you're cooking, right? Like cooking, like, I don't know, fish on a stove, right? On like a little pan. Somebody who's inexperienced might think, oh, I'll just turn the heat up really high. The higher it is, the faster it'll cook. And the faster it cooks, the quicker I can eat my dinner, right? But somebody who's more experienced would know, oh, actually don't do that. You want to have it at a more medium heat, right? Or a little cooler. Because otherwise, if it burns, you know, if you have the pan too hot, then the fish can burn very easily and you'll end up with burnt fish that probably isn't even actually cooked properly, right? So you want to turn down the heat a little bit, give it time so that it can cook properly, so that it can be, you know, not raw, and it can be the most delicious in the end, right? That's the feeling here. I think you like want to kind of turn up the heat, right? Go a little quicker, a little faster, because you feel like this need to have things done. And I think that needing feeling, the Six of Cups is giving me this feeling. It feels like you just want stability. It's more, not necessarily that you're, I mean, this is kind of general. Maybe not every single one of you feels this way, but I feel like generally speaking for most of you, like your life is fine right now. You know, you're not in this like crisis mode, right? Where you're trying to like get this done right away because every day that it's not done, like you're just in this hell, right? Like things are generally okay. We don't need to be in that emergency mode that you might be putting on yourself, you know? So I don't know, when I see Six of Cups, it just kind of feels like we can enjoy the process a little bit, you know? We can do our best, we can try. That's not easy. It's a habit you have to get into, but you know. Yeah, oh my gosh, I hope it's not really coming through, but I'm feeling very unfocused with this reading. The cards, that's just the energy that's coming off of this is very unfocused. So I hope I'm organizing my thoughts well enough for you guys to understand. But I think I'll end on this note, that this focus card wants to remind us is to not lose yourself in the process, you know, not getting caught up in what other people think, what other people's needs are, what other people's expectations are. Just, you can go at your own pace. You can do things the way you want to do them. And you can still honor that part of you that wants the stability, that wants to be at a peaceful place, right? That's not a bad thing. It's not a flaw to want that. That's human nature. But there are ways you can find that more secure, stable feeling right now, today, even if you don't have everything exactly as you want it to be yet. I would say step number 1 is just grounding. Oh my God, I just got some real deja vu. Maybe I said this in a reading recently? I don't remember. Maybe I have. Otherwise, I don't know what that deja vu is about. But anyway, stay very, very grounded in the present, focusing on what you have to do today. Again, Way easier said than done. Believe me, I know. It's a skill that we have to practice, and now's a good time to practice it for you. Okay, yeah, let's leave it there. Cancer moons. If you have any questions about this, or if you'd like any part of this clarified, please let me know. You can leave a comment, or you can just reach out to me, whichever you prefer. On the shorts part of my channel, I have hundreds of shorts videos where I talk about each of the cards. I talk about their upright meaning, their reversed meaning, as well as any symbolism within the cards. So if you're feeling particularly drawn to any of these cards, or if you'd like a little more information about any of them, I recommend you go check that out. But Cancer moons, I am sending you a lot of peace. Peace, focus, deep breaths, grounded energy, and the strength to really try to do that. Rather than trying to cling to everything and figure everything out and just be a little too in your head. Something that helps me, because I've been, not to get too personal, but just really quick. In the last year, I've been thinking a lot about not clinging so hard to, where I thought I would be, what I feel like I should be doing, what other people are telling me I need to do. Sorry, there was a truck. Okay. And what I've learned is that trying to cling and be very strict with these standards, deadlines, whatever, it's a form of trying to control a situation so you feel more in control of a situation. But in reality, a lot of times it's an illusion. It's not a real sense of control of the situation. It's false. And a lot of times the best way you can feel in control of a situation is by being present and grounded and focusing on right now. And it doesn't feel that way at first. It takes time, but eventually it gets easier and it feels much, much better. So Cancer moons, I'm sending you lots of my love as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.